I'm gonna stop. I'm getting my words twisted. My name is Alyssa Andrew, and I'm a postdoc in Dr. Nadia Roan's lab. I am originally from the Caribbean, an island named Antigua, and have since moved to Georgia, where I did my undergraduate work. So I got a bachelor's in biology and French, and then returned back to the University of Georgia to get my PhD in infectious diseases, where I spent time studying malaria infection during pregnancy, and specifically using in vivo models to identify therapeutics that can improve pregnancy outcome during malaria infection. So I joined Nadia's group because I was really drawn to the techniques that she's using to understand HIV pathogenesis. And specifically, she's really interested in the female reproductive tract and how that, is permissible to increase HIV infection. So I was really drawn to the women's health aspect of her research. I really like working at Gladstone, first of all, because of the people. So there's definitely a true sort of family-oriented feel here, and I work with some really amazing colleagues. I also really enjoy the opportunities for camaraderie, things like our Halloween celebrations or holiday celebrations where we kind of really get together and socialize. I really also enjoy the benefits that Gladstone provides for postdocs. So that was a really important factor in me being able to move across the country from Georgia to San Francisco to do amazing research. So I'm really, really excited about the people, the environment, and of course, the benefits. Yes, I was interested in science as a child. So growing up in the Caribbean, science was definitely really, really heavily emphasized as, a subject matter that a lot of me and my peers were sort of encouraged to go into. So it started that way, and then I got fortunate enough to actually really like it. And so I spent a lot of time just trying to decide, what aspect of science do I really want to work on? And that's when I realized, starting first in my PhD studies, that I really want to work on questions relevant to women's health and infectious diseases. My decision to go to graduate school, it really sort of happened by accident in a sense. So initially, I was planning to go to medical school, and on the way there, I learned that I should get some biomedical research experience as an undergraduate. And so that requirement really is what sort of brought me to the research field. And initially, the plan was just to check the box, get some research experience, go to med school, change lives. But ultimately, I really found that I loved it. I really liked being sort of at the edge of knowledge. I liked designing experiments. I liked getting the data and the results and trying to interpret it. And really, finding answers to questions that haven't been answered yet, but they're very important to human health. And so from that, my last year in graduate school, in undergraduate school, last year in college, I applied to the MCAT. I applied for medical school, but I already knew I was going to grad school. And so for me, on the way to doing what I thought I needed to do for medical school is when I found my passion for research. Currently, my research focuses on understanding T-cell responses to HIV infection, and specifically understanding how antiretroviral therapy can impact those T-cell responses. So really, we know that antiretroviral therapy is very, very effective at maintaining viral load, suppressing any sort of immune activation and all of the other HIV-driven immunological defects. But we also know that there's still some persistent inflammation that occurs chronically in people living with HIV, and that inflammation can lead to differences in the HIV reservoir and thus challenges for HIV cure. And so currently I'm using CyTOF to help us phenotype HIV-specific T cells, both prior to antiretroviral therapy and then several times after, so longitudinally after starting therapy, to help us understand how the timing of ART can really mediate immune responses in terms of T cell response to infection. I really like to go outside and explore. So being here in SF, there's so much to see, so much to do, and the weather is perfect for it. So especially coming from Georgia, where it's always really, really hot, it's nice to have cooler weather to explore. So I like going out and hiking and just exploring the city, as well as spending time with my family, my partner, our dog, just relaxing overall. Yes, I do. So surprisingly, I'm really good at improv, or maybe not surprisingly, just people who know me. But it was something that I decided to try for the first time last year. So there's an improv group locally at UCSF. And actually one of the organizers is actually an investigator here at Gladstone. But I decided to try it and had a huge epiphany of like, this is amazing. This is so much fun. This is creative. This is activity that I don't usually get to do. And so I think I'm really good at it. So I would say that's my hidden talent is improv.